Welcome to the Joe Pavich podcast. This show is all about what got people where they are today. Work-life mix, struggles, the grind, the process, and the message. Welcome to the Joe Show. I'd like to introduce my guest today, Abdul Muhammad II. Abdul is the Chief Growth Officer of Quality Life Center Fort Myers, the Q.
The Q.
Also MDM Ventures, artist, music artist, clothing line, a lot going on today. This is going to be a great episode because me and Abdul go way, way back. So, the viewers are going to learn a little bit about me and you today, Abdul. Good to see you, man. What's going on?
Great to see you as well, brother. It's been way too long.
It has been too long. This could be a long episode. How much time do we have today?
Bruh, we got at least another 31 years.
This could be like a 6-hour special. You know what I mean?
We'll have to keep some of the secrets for another episode.
I love it. So, Abdul, tell the audience a little bit about what's going on today. You got a lot going on.
Definitely.
A lot of successful careers, and I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you. I'm proud of you, man. I just want to first give kudos, man. Much love and respect. It's been a long time. And just to watch you in your journey from, ninth grade, Estero High School.
That's right.
To where you are now. I came here and I'm looking at you on billboards. Straight up, bro. I mean, respect.
Back in the day, man. Who would have thought we would be growing up like this, right? We're almost 50 years old.
50 years old, bro.
You look like you're about 30, but I feel about, I feel 30, but I'm 50. That's the way it goes.
But it's all about age ain't nothing but a number, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I remember you were always on that health kick, which is why you look so damn young right now. Remember you used to take your the paper towels and
pat down the
pizza,
get all the grease off. Bro. I know, that's kind of stupid.
You would just destroy a New York style pizza. Man. It's supposed to have all that grease dripping on it, and Joey Zaza would just pat the best part about the pizza.
Abdul, I like abs more than I like cheese. What could I tell you? I mean,
wisdom back then. Handfuls of blueberries, and you always were into that health kick.
You guys were eating Burger King back in the day, having a 12-pack of abs.
Bro, double cheeseburgers
and
genetics, brother.
I was eating rice cakes and turkey sandwiches, and I had a 4-pack. You had an 8-pack eating Burger King. I mean, that's pretty good, man.
Metabolism.
Good. Yeah.
Metabolism.
Burning.
Well, you know what it is. Honestly, remember back in the day and it was crazy because in my household, my dad was Muslim, my family's Muslim, and so they had fasting, so we had to fast every year for 30 days. And I remember it was tough, man, watching you guys eat, hanging out and being like, the one fasting.
I was hiding food.
Right?
Just the bedroom. Didn't want you to see me eating.
No, you were so cool, bro. I remember you didn't want to eat in front of me. You really, really supported me in everything I went through. And this is the type of friendships that last through the ages, man. Yeah. We really get to know each other. But it's funny, fast forward, to bring it all full circle to this health conversation. Fasting back then was like OG, old school, and something was wrong with it. And now it's like all the rave. All these podcasts and everybody, these hackers, longevity, and your boy was doing that stuff back in the day.
I hear about these new diets, and he was doing this, 30 years ago.
That's right.
Every year, once a year.
I
tried to do it
once a year.
Remember, I tried to do it with you for a little bit. I think I lasted about one day. I'm Italian, Abdul. So,
bro.
So listen, if
I wouldn't last longer than with your mom's meatballs, bro. Joni didn't play, bro. I remember the pasta at your place, bro.
If I didn't eat in 2 hours, I'm fighting somebody. You know what I mean? I could, let alone the fasting was pretty. Scott tried that, didn't he? Did he hang with you?
Scott hung for a long time, for many, many years.
Shout out to our boy Scott Riddle.
Scott Riddle, bro. He's the OG.
One of our best friends.
Another realtor.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have stuck with the real estate instead of getting into.
You don't want that, Abdul. You don't want to. You're on the right path, man. Stick with what you're doing.
Well, I don't know. Lee County's booming now. I mean,
it's
great to be back in Lee County, right?
Yeah.
The
Lee
market
County
right
missed
now.
you, man. Lee County missed you. Now you're back.
I miss Lee County.
Abdul, so right now, it's great because you have a couple really cool things going on, right? You moved back, and I want to hear the story. I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah.
But I just love having you back. But now you have a lot of different things that are tying into your career.
Yeah.
Which is almost like a pretzel knot.
It
right?
is.
It's just all kind of tied together, and now here we are, man. So
yes.
What's going on? Tell me.
Yes, it's great, and thanks again for that opportunity to express my pretzel knot. It's it's what we call an integrated approach to business, and it's funny. I learned these principles actually starting back in Estero High School from one of my economics honors classes. Remember Kepler?
Oh yeah,
yes. Had an economics class.
Shout out to her.
Yeah,
Miss Kepler.
Miss Kepler
was cool.
Was awesome. She was one of the coolest teachers, a coach. but really opened me up to economics and understanding business, and started to pique the entrepreneurial interest, and explored this concept of vertical and horizontal integration. And so fast forward, the way I approach things is everything that I do, even though it seems like it's a whole bunch of things, it's all under one umbrella, right? I'm an advocate for a culture of health and wealth. And what I do is I work with socialpreneurs, right? So I'm an entrepreneur at heart.
Yeah.
You remember, right? Always been an entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my dad has always instilled values and roots. I grew up in Harlem, New York, where I was born and raised. Shout out to Harlem, New York, NYC. And, in socioeconomic conditions that were unfavorable, poverty, things like that. And one of the things that you learn back then is to have some self-sufficiency, to step into your own power and value, and to look at what you can do to empower yourself to improve your conditions.
Power of self, man.
That's right. So practicing that and leaning into that sort of opened it up. And where I am full circle is coming back and stepping into working with individuals who are stepping into that power. They're creatorhood, entrepreneurs, socialpreneurs that are all about making money.
I love that word, by the way. That's great.
Yeah. Making money, but also doing good on the planet.
Do a mindset, power of mind, and all these things you hear about now, right?
Yeah.
It's like I kind of look back at all my friends through my days, like mindset, really, because we roomed together. We're gonna go back. We're gonna talk about that today. But mindset was always so big for you.
Absolutely.
And I remember, God, even back in high school, you woke up. I mean, you had a routine, right?
Absolutely.
We couldn't mess with that routine. We had to stay away from that routine because that was your push, right?
That's right. I get grumpy with a lot of my routine. The people get out of balance. Everyone is seeking balance in their life. And when you get into a routine, I call it my ritual. A ritual routine that you repeat every day. It's the 3 R's. It's one of the grounding rules. And one of my rituals is the first 3 for me. Taking the first 3 hours for me. You got to protect it.
Yeah.
You got to safeguard how and what you put inside you, not just food, but also what you consume in the mind, what you take in.
Yeah.
That's that mindset you're talking about.
Man, Abdul, for sure. Mindset is so big for me. It's like I got my routine. I got a crazy
Tell me a little
bit
about your routine, bro, because you're always ripped, always like working out. You're always inspired you, bro. Your car was always immaculate. Your clothes always immaculate. You always had the touch. We always saw the spark, the charisma in you. What was it about your routine that had you be so exceptional
my
always?
Routine then was a little different than now. Now I got before, because when you're younger, you could do whatever. You could wake up whenever, and you feel
well. You did. Perfect. You could. You could in your household.
Oh man, yeah.
Johnny and Joe were cool like that.
They were cool. They were cool. Yeah. So now it's like you get up at 5 a.m. Coffee, gym, on the road. I used to kind of sit around, have the coffee, sit back on the couch. Social media, Abdul.
Yeah.
You can't even. You start swiping. You start looking. It's like, what am I looking at here?
Yeah.
So for me, I got to have a coffee on the road and go.
That's
because
right.
I will sit in front of that TV and I'll get on the news.
Yeah.
And it's like the next thing you know, it's like one negative thing after another. Right. It's like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Turn that channel, man. I start hearing negative stuff. I'm like, all right, boom.
Yeah.
But it's like, gym, kids, work, boom. Early in the morning, ready at, 7 o'clock, fully dressed, showered, worked out. Crazy, man.
It feels good though, right?
Life, yeah.
How good does it feel to be like 7 o'clock to be that accomplished though? You're
Great.
Like, right?
Phone starts ringing early, I'm in high demand.
Yeah.
Real estate, people don't pull back. When they get a question, it's, 10, 11 o'clock at night or 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
But it's funny because sometimes I respond and they're like, oh, I wasn't expecting you to respond.
It's surprising.
It's like, yeah.
But that's something about you, though, that I've always admired. You always had that personal touch. You always made people feel welcome.
Yeah.
Always made people feel special.
Thank you. Thank you.
I look back at a time when we grew up, early 90s, calling us out, but especially in this area. Right? Lee County, Bonita Springs, Estero High School.
89.
Yeah, bro. Yo, straight up. 1989, the number. Another summer.
That's right. Public Enemy
Public Enemy. Bro, your stuff,
come
bro.
on, man.
On the
Public
quote,
Enemy
bro.
number 1, man.
Bro, remember we used to listen to Public Enemy? That was like activism music. This music connected us, and it's so funny how it didn't matter about races, right? You got this Italian from Chicago and this black man from Harlem, New York, in Estero, Florida, connecting over Public Enemy.
Yeah.
In the 1989. You got remember Trevor Tallman, Trevor Hosbald, Trevor Trevor Hawes.
Yeah.
He used to listen to Public Enemy all the time, and I was like, "Who's this white kid?"
Yeah, listening to
Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Evan and Trevor, man, these cats, man. And music really had always connected us. So it's inspiring to see it now. Full circle of what am I doing? We're, one of the projects we started a few years ago to really support Quality Life Center, which is a nonprofit for at-risk youth or here in the community, in the Dunbar community in Fort Myers. And we make music to uplift and to support and to really provide an alternative to being on the streets, an alternative to the music that is all about killing, drug dealing, all about violence, misogyny, things that are low vibration, things that don't uplift us, and things that really don't depict us.
Abdul,
That's right.
High vibration. Man.
High vibration.
That's a new jam. We're going to
get into that.
Keep going. I had to say that because
high vibe.
When you said that, it sparked a little interest in me because that's your new jam. That's okay. Yeah. But great cause, man. Great cause. Your family, your dad. I mean, he's been there for how long?
Yeah, well, my father started Quality Life Center. He and some families that were concerned families in the Dunbar community in Fort Myers, Florida, along with some concerned citizens and parents. They started Quality Life Center over 30 years ago.
Man.
And it's been going there. And when my father started it, he started that program for the youth. And it was started with martial arts. That was the first discipline. When you talk about mindset, martial arts was the way that my father taught us access to self-discipline, access to respect, to respecting yourself and respecting others. You know how it is with martial arts. You got to respect everybody. You don't know what anybody else knows, right?
Yeah. I didn't know that you were like a black belt before I even met you. You know what I mean? I met you in freshman year of high school.
Yeah, we were practicing.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, my dad
I went
had us
to your house. I
practicing.
didn't realize that. Your dad. Your dad was good, man. Your dad was good.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how much that meant to your family.
Yeah.
Your dad could. I thought you were kind of tough back in the day, but your dad will whoop you, no problem.
My dad's like Mr. Miyagi, bro. My dad is the African American Mr. Miyagi. He's Mr. Miyagi from Harlem. He's really trained and supported a lot in the community through access to martial arts. When you take on that training, you just get a respect for nature, a respect for humanity, respect for yourself.
Yeah.
You gain courage, discipline, confidence. It allows you to look at yourself in a way that is an empowered context, so that other things that may be challenging to others, when you have the mindset that's rooted in this self-discipline that martial arts provides you, the meditation, the mindset, the framework, the control over the body, the ability to self-regulate your emotions, to control your sense of fear, violence. You know how we used to train with Lenny, right? It's a mental toughness.
I know it is. And you have so many different types of martial arts, right? But like the positivity, your family, dad.
Yeah, so it's all about that.
That was all about that, right? Martial arts, there's so many different types. Some are more aggressive than others.
Yeah.
But that was all about peace.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Mindset, peace.
Yeah. It was
Don't mess with me.
And that peace comes
I don't know
from
if you want
his
to
faith.
mess with him. Don't get him wrong. Don't mistake his niceness for,
No.
not being able to whoop you, that's for sure. But I mean, I love that about your father and you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a gentle balance, right?
Yeah,
the
it
yin
is.
and yang. You have to be, like Bruce Lee, I like to quote, like water. It's not, it's not this rigid thing. It's something that takes the shape and the form, and it has the ability to comply.
Yeah.
It's malleable, but also when it's needed, it can become ice and be rigid and hard.
Yeah.
And so you have to be, have resiliency, right? So in the form of challenge, when things are water and our bodies are at least 70% water, right? And so when you become the water, you're able to move and flow in a way that isn't rigid, that allows you to break.
Yeah.
And these principles are principles that you learn through martial arts training. And when you bring the peace to it, oftentimes you don't have to fight. I know that there's this peaceful way when you stand in the some say in faith who are religious, right, of people of God, the Almighty, we say, when you stand when God is behind you, there's nothing to fear. Like, bring it, son.
That's right.
You feel like you could come
Good
with
luck
it.
on this.
Yeah, God's behind you. The hand of God is there,
Yeah.
and that's not anything that the universe that can be held back from you. That the universe has in store for you. And people who believe in faith and who walk in faith, they're just fully self-expressed. and they have courage,
Yeah.
and they live a different life.
Yeah, that's right. Man, you're always so big on that. I love that. I love hearing that. Hearing you talk about the old Bruce Lee, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
We've been through so much, and your dad has such a great impact on me, and vice versa. Some good stories your dad has, him and I, and my dad and you. But Abdul, let's go back, man. Let's go back to like where this all began. High school, right?
That's right.
Chicago, New York.
Chi-Town warrior.
And, you're all the way in New York City.
Harlem boy, Harlem style.
I'm in Chicago. Abdul. I mean, planets apart between the two, right?
My Italian,
That's
my
right.
mafioso. Two gangsters from the streets.
That's right. So,
Right.
I moved to Estero. There's nothing here, right?
Yeah.
You come down, you go to Estero High School. Now Abdul, let's cut the record straight here. I mean, I didn't know anybody. I was new to the school, Estero High School. You had, everybody knew who you were. Everybody knew Abdul, right? I come to the school, I don't know anybody. And I'm looking at you and I'm saying, this guy is so cool, man. He can dance. Estero High School, EHS raps.
EHS raps, baby. Yeah.
Who is this guy? He's cool. You know what I mean? I want to get to know this guy, right? And then all of a sudden I meet you and we don't know each other.
No.
It's just like that, man. We formed our own crew.
Yeah.
Me, you,
Scott.
Fran.
Yeah.
And still to this day, we got a group thread going on.
That's right.
32 years later.
That's right.
That's insane.
That's right. 2025 makes it, 32 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man,
Time flies,
remember, you mentioned Scott and Fran. These guys, you guys were like my family back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Like we used to hang on a daily basis, ride together. Our cars were everything back then. Or I should say you guys' cars were everything because I didn't have one. So it was, I lived vicariously through you guys. I was that cat in the
You didn't feel
driver's
the pain that we felt with a dirty car on a Friday night, though. You know what I mean? That's a little...
Joe, you used to have a toothbrush so that you could keep your car shining all the time, bro.
The vents, man.
You were
The vents.
immaculate.
The vents in the car. Can't have dust in there. Are you kidding me?
Are you still that way? Tell the truth.
No, I'm not.
Are you still upset? After you had kids, then your car got dirty.
I'm upset, though, that I sold that car. That's what I'm upset about. I mean...
The Nissan?
No, not Nissan. The other one. The other one.
Oh, the fly-ass
The other one.
IROC.
The IROC, yeah.
Bro, that car. I remember the first
Man.
time you let me drive that IROC, you were like, Abdul, slow down. This
Don't.
car is not like a
Don't.
Don't punch it. Don't.
This
With your
ain't like
voice
the
sounded
Nissan.
like your dad. Yeah.
This ain't like the Nissan.
Nissan.
Don't.
Don't punch it. I hit the gas on that thing. Holy crap. That thing fishtailed. I almost hit the butt of another car. That was ball. How many horsepower did that engine have?
At the time, like 250
Good
back
Lord,
in the
bro.
day.
I felt
but I mean,
crazy
240
strong,
horsepower horses back in 1989. That was,
Crazy.
actually it was like 1991. That was a lot for then.
Bro, that
It
car
felt-
was so nice though, man.
I miss it, man.
We were pimping in
I
that
miss
ride.
it. I remember I sold it for $6,000. I had the money fanned out like this.
Wow.
I was like this,
Payday.
fanning with the money and everything. Pictures. I had it all spread out,
That was
so hot in here. I did.
That was before you were gonna get your professional
Yeah, that was
your
before.
baseball.
But man, I look back and I'm like, I wish I would have kept that car, man. Got rid of it. But that car, we got some good memories in the old IROC Z 5.7 1980s.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Fun times.
But isn't it funny though? Like today, everybody wants to be in the 80s.
Yeah.
When you're in the 80s, we wanted to be in the 90s. When we were in the 90s, we wanted to be in 2000. What's 2000 going to be like?
I know.
The world's going to reset.
It is.
It's going to reset. Remember that?
I feel it. Yeah.
gonna-
Everything was
all
going to
the
be
clocks,
done, right?
all the
2000 was
clocks.
this whole fear-based thing. Everyone was going to die. The world, the millennial bug. Everything was going to go down.
But it's crazy, back in the day. But it brings back a lot of good memories. Though. Me and you, Estero High School, we did some stupid things.
Absolutely.
But if we look back,
Like punching hot potatoes.
punching hot potatoes, we did that. We did that. But Abdul, one of my first girlfriends in high school.
Uh-oh.
We got to go back. I got to go back to
Oh,
this.
my goodness.
Because, I'm this shy. I mean, I was kind of a skateboarder, shy, kind of knew a few people.
You're pretty good, bro.
I was good.
You thought you were Tony
BMX.
Hawk, but
BMX.
not quite.
Boy, Fran, Colosimo, BMX.
BMX. Absolutely.
Not DMX, Fran. BMX. But, I'm a shy guy. All of a sudden, I meet you. We're sitting on the bench in the basketball, stadium.
Yes, sir.
And I was kind of checking out this girl down there.
Yeah.
And I said to you,
not just this girl.
Yeah.
She happened to be like
she was cool. She was cool.
Cool.
And I said to you, he said, well, you like her? I said, kind of. Was I a freshman in high school?
I could tell by the look on your face
and
that
you
you
said,
were
I can
in love
introduce
with
you to her. I said, you must be crazy. I'm not talking to this girl. This girl knows everybody. I'm just a new guy to the school. I ain't talking to this girl at all.
Yeah.
But you just insisted. You wanted to set that up.
Yeah.
Be my first hookup. You wanted to be the guy that set me up with my first girlfriend from Chicago, right?
Yeah. Yeah. At the time, we're talking about the one and only. I'm going to just call her out. It's been a long time, so I'm going to embarrass her if she's listening to this. But Neely McMath.
Yeah, yeah.
Good old Neely McMath, the one and only. She was awesome. She used to, hang out with another. I'm going to call her out because you can't say Neely without calling out Tara O'Neill. These were like our two. I'm going to say my BFF, Neely Mack, love her to death. And she is who we're talking about.
Yeah.
And you didn't know her at the time. And she's such a great friend of mine and someone who, I held a lot of great respect for.
Yeah.
And you were my boy, bro. You're a cool guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I knew her type, etc. And so, I was trying to play Cupid. I heard from my Jewish friends, if I connect people together, you get good, you get good juju, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I'm at a bar mitzvah and I heard this stuff. So I'm trying to connect you guys here, So
I remember you saying to me, you want me to? I said no. I said, are you crazy? Are you crazy?
You were so scared.
Keep that girl away from me.
You imagine Joe Pavich afraid, bro, of just macking to a woman. Girls look at you, bro, and they just like, oh my God. Women just die for you, bro. You're like a GQ magazine guy. For you to come to me, Abdul, little old Abdul, to hook you up, bro. It's hilarious.
That's funny because, just in life, these stories, you kind of look back and you go, whatever, you know?
Yeah, fun times, man.
But man, it was a lot of fun for sure. But, a lot of good stories, man. I mean, if I look back, you're an artist now, music, clothing, you know? You look at clothing and music back when we were in the 80s, people want to mimic the 80s now.
That's right.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
So we got to talk about rap in the 80s, 90s versus now.
Yeah, a whole different
It was better back then.
Yeah.
It was.
Absolutely.
Where it all started. EPMD.
EPMD.
MC
Eric and
Breed.
Parrish making dollars, bro. MC Breed. You're talking about, the people nowadays, they may not even know who MC Breed is, right? That's like the rare
I know.
cats, DC Scorpio. Like, who are some of the rappers back then that people nowadays would not maybe not
idea.
hear about?
Gangstar.
Love Gangstar. J Premier. You got that whole.
clique. Obviously, people know like Tupac and Biggie and stuff like
the
that,
best. Wu-Tang Clan, without a doubt, the best. Nas. You got but let's talk about some of the uncovered, like Group Home, the Nutcracker, right?
Mobb Deep back then.
Mobb Deep. Oh my God.
Mobb Deep. Who knew about
Mobb
Special
Deep.
Ed?
Special Ed.
I'm the Magnificent.
With the sensational style.
People
and
don't
I
know
can
about,
go on and on
about
for
that
like
back
a mile
in the
a
day.
minute.
Onyx.
Slim.
But it's funny
DOS Effects.
now
Far Side. Tribe.
Passing me by.
For sure.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
But people know about some of these songs because they bring them back. 8 Mile.
Yeah. Eminem.
They had Onyx in there. They had Mobb Deep.
For
people
sure.
started knowing Mobb Deep, Onyx because,
Yeah.
8
The
Mile,
remixes, they're bringing them back.
This was
the OG, bro. You got some street cred, bro. OG, like, when I talk to, like, you and Fran, these guys, bro, I mean, Fran even goes back to, like, the old school Miami bass days with remember his whip, Larger Than Life?
Oh, yeah, Larger Than Life, yeah.
We used to bass
we
around
were so
with
cool, man.
The Miami bass machine music.
He had the whole back seat removed. He had speakers.
Huge speakers.
We had to sit on speakers.
What did he have, 15s back there? Did Fran have?
415s, I think. Tweeters and all kinds of
He used to rattle. Boom, boom,
we were sitting on
boom.
speakers.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if you
We had our priorities in high school.
But I thought it looked cool when I looked in the window. I said, this guy's got speakers as seats. Try sitting on those. Try sitting on those things, man. That's.
Oh, we would get to school and our hearts would be opened by all of that bass, right?
That was like before heart palpitations were like heart palpitations. But those are some good times, man, for real, back then.
Yeah.
And it's like the music today was just so much better back then.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like this. I feel like it's a energetic frequency that the music consists of that's different. I feel like hip-hop, rap music back in the day, it was more educational. It was more telling a story of what was really going on, but with hopes to get out, with hopes of something better. Really about exposing the things that, other communities may not see and know, and not taking that on as how it should be, but just being real with it. Like, that's how it is. We should do something better. And I feel like now that violence, that misogyny, all of the worst things about being in living in poverty and living in poor conditions, they're being glorified. Not only are they being glorified, but they're being put out there as how Black people, African Americans are. And that's a danger.
Yeah.
And that's when the music shifts. And, that was really the impetus of the music that we put out. We loved that hip hop music back in the day. That united us. You know what I'm saying? That brought people together. That brought Italian, Chicago kid together with Black Harlem kid in Estero, Florida.
If I finished a line and a song, you were like,
right?
Who's this guy?
Yeah.
How do you know about this?
Right.
And we would laugh because our goal was to find stuff that you didn't know about. Remember we used to say that?
Yeah.
You didn't
Challenging
know about this.
each other.
You don't know about this.
Yeah.
Abdul,
To one
you
up
don't
each
know
other.
about this song. I'm going to tell you about this song. You don't know about this song. Now,
You were always good at finding stuff. J. Rue the Damager? You were the first one who brought J. Rue the Damager to the table.
Yeah. It's funny because a couple of my boys, shout out to Pat Gira, Larry Love, these guys are into rap, and I'm on their episode, and we talk about that. It's great guys, by the way.
Yeah.
But they want to put me up against people, Pat Deere, but buddies of mine.
Yeah.
To talk about rap, to have like a knowledge of the rap. I say, guys, listen, you don't want to battle me. I will kill you in rap. Anything regarding that, maybe not football or the history of I don't know who won the 1977 World Series.
Right.
I can't tell you that, but buddy, you don't want to battle me in the rap game. I will slaughter you.
You may not win the ESPN trivia, but you want to talk about 90s hip hop. Joey Zaza's
You ain't got
killing
nothing on me. I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now.
DMX, all of the greatest.
Oh man,
coming in. Yeah, man.
But Abdul, some of the good memories of school, high school.
Yeah.
In high school, it's everything to you, right? The world, you wanted to make sure you were cool, popular, fun. If something went wrong, it was your life, it was your world, right?
Yeah.
And and it is at the time, and you think it's going to be that way forever. All of a sudden, you graduate high school, right? And you look back, and it's like, man, high school. It was like a stepping stone to
That's right.
who I am today.
Yeah.
But some of the best stories happened in high school. Some of the lessons, like your dad would tell me.
Yeah.
He would say, Joe, your boy Joe, he's going to be something when he grows up.
That's right.
Remember him telling me that. And I was like, man, there's no way. I was working at the mall. I was at Birdine's, at the mall.
Yeah.
They got rid of me.
The Bell Tower Mall.
They got rid of me. So Walgreens, I worked there for a little bit. They didn't want me.
They didn't want you there.
And, for a long time, you hear those, like your dad say he's going to be successful.
Yeah.
It took me, we'll talk about that later, 30 years to figure out that your dad was right. But so many good stories, like my dad with you.
Oh, man.
Godfather.
The Godfather. Like, I still call
Let's
him
tell
the
the
Godfather
story.
to
Props
this
to
day.
my dad and your dad, by the way, Abdul Haq Sr. Tell me the good Joe Pavich Sr. story.
So I feel like I think that my most favorite memory about your dad is just how welcoming he is and he was. I remember the first time I went into your house, like your house was immaculate. Like, you had to show in your neighborhood and your community. Your dad didn't play. Everything was white and pristine. I remember
It's
walking
still white,
in the house.
real white.
Is it still white?
Yeah.
Bro, I was
Glossy.
so scared.
Floor is glossy.
Glossy. I was scared to walk in your house. Everything was beautiful.
I'm afraid to go in there. I'm afraid to go in there. I walk around with a towel on my feet, and I just go like this. I scoot. I'm just kidding, but it's still the same way.
But your dad was so welcome. He's like, get your ass in here, man.
Yeah,
Gives me a big hug. He's like, come on in here. And he starts telling me these jokes. And immediately, he told jokes that made me feel welcome.
Yeah.
And immediately didn't care what race I was, where I was from, that my name was Abdul Muhammad.
Yeah.
He made me feel like home.
He did.
And
he
the
loved
fact
you, man.
that, yeah, man,
loved you.
and I'll never forget that. And, the way that you all always took care of me, fed me, clothed me, your dad made sure that you came and picked me up so that I had a ride.
He did,
He understood that we were in situations that maybe were a little bit challenging, and he made it easy and made it a priority for you to go out of your way. He always extended his home to me.
Yeah.
Spending the night,
Oh,
taking
yeah.
care of me with food.
A lot of fun.
Shelter. That was awesome, man.
So, I live 2 minutes from
Like
school.
family, bro.
I live from 2 minutes from school, I live right there. And I drove 42 minutes to get you every morning.
Every morning.
Every morning.
And your dad
But
just straight up paid for gas, didn't care.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Hang out with my buddy.
That's what I'm saying.
For
quality
just
time, bro.
Driving to get you and just having fun all the way back.
Yeah.
And I think after school, same thing.
Absolutely.
Got a little crew.
For years,
take
bro.
you home.
But
Man,
that's the bonding time right there. That this is what, when you, in life, a lot of times people chase money, chase material things.
Yeah.
But the most valuable things are the friendships.
That's right.
And the relationships like yours and mine, where we can actually tell those stories, where you take time to drive 45 minutes just to be with someone because you give a shit.
That's right.
About them, bro. Because it's more fun to hang with them and, bond,
that's
connect, the ideas, bro.
That's what this show is all about.
Yeah.
It's about, friendships, right?
Yeah.
But, there's so many good stories. So one of the stories that sticks out to me is my dad, right?
Yeah.
Remember we skipped school senior year?
Senior
skip day. Senior skip day. By the way, I am such a smart dad. I am on my boy. My boys even play these games or get in trouble because I already know. We did this stuff.
Because your dad caught our ass.
But the kids don't think that we know. But we know because we did these things.
We did them. Yeah.
So remember the time we skipped school, right?
And we thought we were slick?
My dad said to me, he said, "What's going on today?" I said, "Well, I'm going to help Abdul's dad. Abdul's dad." I try to make up this lie.
Blame
Abdul's
it on my dad.
He's moving. So, we got to go help him. He probably didn't believe us.
He's like, on a school day, Abdul's dad's going to get you.
So he said, tell Abdul's dad that, that's fine. You can do that. So we're on 41. We're in my car. We had a cooler in the back, chairs, beach chairs. Me, you, and Scott in my car, right? We got tank tops on, music blasting, down, T-tops the whole night. We are going down to the beach.
Yeah, man.
We look over, my dad in traffic, right at the stoplight.
Joe Pavich Sr.
And remember, we looked at him. Like, remember Ferris Bueller's Day Off? They look over and he sees the father and they put up the newspaper, you know what I mean? Well, that's what we did. We looked over and he was just staring right at us.
Staring at us, that stare.
And he just kept going.
The Godfather stare.
He just kept going. And, we thought, man, is he cool? He is so cool. You guys saw how cool he was.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was that cool because he just looked at me. He just gave me the look.
Yeah.
He just looked at me.
That piercing dad look.
Which meant, like, have fun, but I'm going to kill you when you get home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you knew exactly what it meant.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I was happy I was going to my house and you were going to yours.
But he knew, right? So, in that time, you think you're creating, a fact that you're fooling your parents, right?
Yeah.
They knew.
Yeah.
And I tell my kids, like, guys, come on. Like, I don't know what's going on here.
Right.
I'm 2 steps ahead of you.
Wise to the game.
Your dad, too.
Oh, yeah.
Your dad, you ain't fooling your dad.
No.
Your dad might not have pulled up next to the light and like, said, have fun, guys.
No.
We would have all been in trouble.
Right. My dad wouldn't have driven off.
Remember there was a story you told me about when you were a kid? Tell me that story about you.
Which
Timeout story?
The
Timeout story?
With my dad. Oh, my dad.
You were so scared that you...
Man, I tell you, I ground myself, my dad. Seriously. My dad had the power to make me ground myself. What dad, like, you get in trouble. I remember one time I stole my dad's car. Like, well, steal. I used to steal your dad.
Yeah,
steal, borrowed.
Yeah, he didn't know.
He didn't know.
The key was in my pocket accidentally.
the key accidentally went in my pocket.
I tripped and I fell. My key, the key went into the switch. The car turned on. What am I supposed to do, right?
Really, I was actually checking the car for maintenance. I was doing my dad a favor. I was
you were checking out the alignment for your dad, right?
Yeah, and I got caught, and it was bad.
Did you get a chance to thrill ride, or did you? Well, when did he catch you?
The thing about it is, my thrill ride was so bad that I actually got into a car accident in my thrill ride. I was with Brandy Hogue on a date.
That was like the parents just to understand the Will Smith. Remember the video?
Oh my God. It was bad.
That was you, right?
One was
really beating while the other was driving.
That's right.
Know what I mean?
Oh my goodness, man! I thought my dad was going to put his whole leg in my but he was cool. The thing about
you
my
grounded
dad,
yourself.
I did.
You said
I grounded myself. I didn't ask for anything. I hid. I slinked to my room and just stayed in my room and like came out for water and crumbs every other day for a few weeks.
That's pretty good.
It was safe.
You grounded yourself.
Yeah,
because you didn't want him to even give you the look, right? That look would pierce your soul.
Not even.
Yeah, didn't even make eye contact.
That's the thing.
You didn't even make eye contact.
No.
That look will pierce your soul.
No. But that's the dads back then, they had a level of respect that they didn't have to hit you.
Yeah.
They didn't have to put their hands on you like your dad would.
No, never touch you.
My dad, they just look at you. And the level of disappointment, in your dad, when they raise you right. And I think that we've gotten away from that. These kids, a lot of days, they don't have any respect. They talk to their dad, their moms, any kind of way. Like, holy crap, man.
I know.
Like,
raising kids is tough. Raising kids is tough, Abdul, because, you say to yourself, I would never talk to my dad that way.
Yeah.
I would never talk to my mom that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's different now.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah. Another good story. Fran's dad. Remember that story, Fran's dad? Yeah. When I asked my dad, we want to go up to the mall in Sawgrass Mills before GPS.
Yeah.
Now you just punch it right in. Back then, you had to figure out how to get there.
Until we had MapQuest.
MapQuest.
You print it out.
So I asked my dad, I said, Dad, me and Fran and Fran's dad and Abdul, we want to go up to Sawgrass Mills. Fran's dad wants to know what the directions are. Fran's dad is a real estate developer. Guy had billboards in the 80s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was huge.
Why in the world would Fran's dad ask me for instructions to get there?
Yeah.
So my dad knows this is a
kid.
lie. This is an absolute lie.
Yeah.
So I got to find out more information. So my dad says, tell Fran's dad to go I-75, cut across Miami. Tell Fran's dad to be careful because traffic. Tell Fran's dad, to get home before all this stuff. So I'm thinking, I got him fooled, right? So I go there, I come back. I got bugs.
All over the vehicle.
Thousands of bugs.
The alligator alley smudge.
Thousands of bugs. I get into the driveway. He's not home. I'm power washing the car, getting the bugs off of the car. He pulls up in the driveway. He goes, Fran's dad, huh? We took your car? Fran's dad and you all took your Nissan? Fran's dad is a billionaire. No, he's not. But, he's got he's a real estate guru back in the day. So he just walked in. And, I had to deal with that.
Yeah. Dads call us out for the lies, man.
The wrath. Yeah.
But you got a great relationship with your dad
I
now.
Do.
I mean,
I do.
Our fathers that have been there with us through thick and thin.
Yeah.
Means a lot.
Yeah, great relationship. We work out in the gym in the morning too.
Oh, yeah?
Dad, yeah. He goes to the gym, 5 o'clock. I go at 5. We don't ride together because I'm on a mission. Come home, I got to go.
Things to do.
But when I come in the gym, I look in the window. If I don't see that gray hair bobbing on the elliptical, that's my view in the morning. I got to see his head in there.
That's awesome.
At the gym.
That's great.
So
man.
It's fun, man. He's doing good. 50 pounds. He's lost 50 pounds.
That's great. I always admired your family and, the way that they were connected.
Yeah.
The way that you all ate together. You all always did things together. Your mom and your dad did business together. You all went into business together. Yeah. And the way that you build that generational wealth and kind of stay with each other, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's cool for sure. Because, we kind of stay in our own little sectors, It's like, Fountain Lake's call comes in. It's my dad's, little stomping ground there. I don't really.
Fountain friggin' Lakes.
Yeah, drive.
22, what was it, 22 miles?
Yeah, he said drive. You'd see us speeding.
What was it? It was like something ridiculous. 22 Fountain friggin' Lakes.
Yeah, 22.
22,
nobody here.
Going 22
There's no
miles
houses.
an hour.
Back then, 22.
Your dad
There's
used
that
to
one
crack
house in
me
the whole
up with
development. It was the first house.
All those damn speed bumps too? For what? Come on.
Nobody's here.
Yeah.
Nobody goes 22 back then. But man, there's so many good stories. Yeah. But they're all doing good. We have our little sectors. I don't go in Fountain Lakes. That's his little.
You don't go
his
there
neighborhood.
Anymore?
No, I do.
Well,
to see him and say hi.
But you let him.
But I'm not putting a real
estate
estate sign in Fountain Lakes.
I got you. There's not so there's not in family warfare going on over the real estate.
No,
here.
there will be if I put a sign up there. Rapallo is my mom's little territory, right?
Oh, your mom's in Rapallo.
Yeah, so that's her little market. So if I go in there, that's a problem.
I like that.
So I don't put signs up in there. I send them right to them, and that's kind of cool because that's kind of how we do things.
So do you have a community, or you're just all over? Like they've kind of. I know your dad's model has always been, the Fountain Lakes model has worked well for you. I know that's how you started, but you've expanded beyond that, right?
I go
a
everywhere.
Very smart model.
Anywhere.
Okay.
Anywhere.
And is it more,
any price anywhere?
Okay.
It's crazy because people they say I didn't call you because I didn't think you'd want to work with me. I'm like, I will sell a $10,000 lot in Lee. I'll do whatever I got to do. The call comes in.
That's good to know.
You got to do what you got to do.
It's good to know you take my
do
budget.
anything.
You take my. Good to know you're my.
But the misconceptions in real estate too. It's like I get calls. I have listings everywhere.
Yeah.
No matter where.
So, I mean, as I do a lot of work with Quality Life Center and our nonprofit, we've rolled out adult and community programs. Because over 30 years, we've been known for our ACE program, Arts, Character, and Education. The arts funding has been cut largely from state. We've been blessed to have partners in, Lee County with Lee County Economic Development, people like John Talmadge and Warren Balcom, and, partners like Florida Gulf Coast University that we've partnered with. And, the CRA, different people, the government and corporations, to really focus on the economics. And when you look at real estate and what you do, and we're looking at how we sort of transform communities that are like the Dunbar community, for example, that are disproportionately challenged economically. When you look at real estate as a vehicle out, what sort of advice would you have for individuals in that neighborhood who are aspiring entrepreneurs to get into real estate, generational wealth? We have a program called the Q Up program, and knowledge and wisdom about real estate would be greatly appreciated for upcomers who are in that neighborhood, who oftentimes are victims of gentrification and things like that. How do they get in on the pie? How do they take advantage of all this action in Lee County and all this real estate wealth?
Well, the biggest thing is that we just getting going, just starting it, because no matter what you do in life, sometimes you ask yourself, why do I deserve this? Why do I need to, okay, I said real estate, but I don't know, why? What am I doing here? Do I deserve to have a billboard? You got to start somewhere, man. And that's what I tell people. Don't be afraid to do this. Abdul, the podcast, real estate, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And you can make it what you want to make it, but you got to get going. The biggest thing I'd say today is a lot of people think too much about it. You want to do something, you got to do it. You got to start somewhere, no matter what it is. But you can't pump the brakes. You can't pump the brakes. You got to just push right through and just make it the best you can. It's real estate, I'd love to have those conversations, because it's about motivating people to do what they love to do, like you do.
Yeah.
Motivating other people to start with something. You don't just start with listings. You don't start with buyers. But you got to work every day, get up every day, get on the phone, pass out business cards, talk to people, get motivated, listen to others, read books, listen to the Joe Pavich podcast.
That's right. No, but things that you're mentioning, though, the consistency, discipline, these are the principles that apply. What I'm hearing you say is that these are the basic principles that apply to success in general, whether it's real estate or not, right?
That's right.
Taking action, taking ownership, mindset, discipline, consistency, getting up and just taking action.
Yeah.
Really, right?
It's you learn these things when you're young.
Yeah.
But you have these skills, right? And I mean, from sports.
Yeah.
Sports.
Great teacher, yeah.
The drive.
I know, from the martial arts.
Family. You sort of have this pie, right, of all these little things you learn along the way. And now you got to figure out a way to apply them.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss that piece of pie that's in there. That's the actual, push forward 100. That little piece of pie right there to push forward is one of the most important pies.
Yeah.
Because you could have all these pieces, right? But if you're not going to push forward and keep doing it and do it now, not procrastinate, it's hard.
Yeah.
Because, we all think too much.
Yeah.
Let's overthink this.
Yeah.
Let's not do it. Let's wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah.
Let's wait till the new year. Why
Excuses.
start a diet today? Yeah. It's Thursday. I'll wait till Monday.
Yeah.
I'll wait. Just do it now.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
When you talk about this whole New Year's thing and getting started now, I was in a conversation with a friend, and we talk about, when we celebrate things like New Year's and making it this reason to start something, what that does is it actually is probably a negative thing in a way, right? When these habits should just be your lifestyle in general.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Right? So it's like a New Year's resolution.
Oh,
this should be how you are every day. Dude.
Exactly.
Right? It's a setup every time that you got to, it's this big thing versus this is the way you should always
Let's enjoy the next 3 months, and then we can start from, no.
Right.
Just do it today.
It's crazy. And also, as I sit here chilly in South Florida, you know what I'm saying? It's in the 40s, which to me, even though I'm from New York, I'm a Florida boy now,
Yeah, your
and
blood's
so I like
thinned
that
out.
sun. That's right.
That's what they say. Your blood's
I like
thinned.
the warmth, man.
Yeah.
So 40 degrees is freezing for me.
It is. It is cold. But you learn all these things when you're younger, and you have to apply them when you're older, right?
Yeah.
That's the key. So, let's talk about the journey after high school, right? Because after high school, we didn't talk as much. You moved away, right?
Yeah.
I came home. You were still in Gainesville.
Yeah.
I came home. And, I started working and sort of tell me, because we did lose track for a little bit, you and I.
Yeah. Yeah, it was probably like early 2000s maybe.
But when we picked up the phone, it was game on.
Always. But that's how it is with us, like a year, 2 years can go by. It doesn't matter how long it goes. Pick up the phone. We're like best friends from back in the day.
That's right. So what happened after high school or college? You started getting into the...
Got into the tech business.
So, business.
I started Anatron Media Technologies.
That's right,
my senior year. Anatron Media Technologies.
Yeah.
A little ahead of my time. It was my first
you
successful company.
You were doing internet optimization before.
That's right.
Before the internet.
That's right. That was in 1998, actually.
Yeah.
1998, I started Anatron Media Technologies. That was in my senior year at University of Florida. And Go Gators. So what's up? We had a lot of good times in Gainesville, baby. We don't want to get into those stories because we have to edit everything out.
Yeah.
From the college, University of Florida.
That's great.
That was fun. But that was where I started my business, Anatron. And
I still have your business card, by the way, Anatron business card.
Right? Now, that was back in the day when we had dial-up. There was like, what was the dial-up service back then? What the hell? I can't even remember.
Yeah.
Like Netscape and AOL.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The freaking dial-up thing.
Yeah.
But I was selling websites. That was the first business. And then that later on, I sold that company later on, 10 years later, to $1 billion ad agency, Zimmerman, Omnicom company, retail giant. And that got me over to the other coast of Florida, got me down in Miami area. Yeah. And so that was in 2008 when I was there at Zimmerman. And then I joined Zimmerman as the social marketing director and built out that piece of business to multi-millions of dollars, had big clients like Friendly's and Papa John's and Pep Boys and Atlantis and just all kinds of big clients.
I remember wanting to have you work with me, but I'm like, Abdul, you can't work with me.
Well, that was Zimmerman was huge, man. They were big. Yeah.
Abdul, you got Pepsi. Pepsi is your client. Like,
big stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun, but I was there for 3 years.
I want to spend about $150 a month on internet optimization. Can I get some leads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was back in the day when before you had to pay on social media. So it was kind of a free, place. Facebook wasn't a paid platform back then, if you can imagine. So you were able to get organic juice. We had White Castle was one of my great clients. Shout out to all the White Castle.
White Castle, that's my hometown, baby. Right?
Yeah.
Chicago,
baby. Yeah.
We didn't stop at Juicy Lucy's for a burger at 2 a.m. It was the White Castle. You know
baby.
what I mean?
The sliders, bro. Those things were delicious, bro.
Eat 8 of those things.
It was delicious. Well, when they were my client, we did an amazing campaign for them, and I actually got to part of working with them on that account. We got to fly up there, and they learned how to flip the burgers, and you actually got to work in one of the locations. It was great, man, and eat everything. It was great. Tough on my tummy.
Oh man, yeah, I'm sure it really made you heavy. I mean, like I said, the worse you ate, the leaner you got. That's how it was with you.
Yeah, no, Zimmerman was great. And then from there, I was there for 3 years as a social marketing director, learned a whole lot, worked on those big clients. And then I went and joined RBB Communications. And I just love Christine Barney. She's the CEO there. She's just a great leader. And, I was joined them as the vice president of digital development in 2013. And then after 5 years, we, had great success. I'm doubling the growth of the company with digital as a big part of that, and integrating into a traditional PR company, digital technology and social media and things like that, and fusing that with PR and influencer marketing and all of this kinds of stuff. Very exciting time. And after 5 years, became the chief digital officer and partner at RBB. And after 8 years, really found my calling, decided to resign and withdrew my partnership and started MDM Ventures. And that's what I do now.
And what year was that?
That was in 2019. 2019, right before COVID, actually. It was a little scary. Go out on my own, start my own agency, and then boom, COVID
The grind
hits.
is real.
Yeah, the entrepreneurial life. So that socialpreneur is really in the calling. And at the time, Quality Life Center, as I mentioned earlier, the nonprofit my father started over 30 years ago, was really seeking support as looking to expand.
Yeah.
And so I really looked at it as an opportunity to bring Quality Life Center to Miami, to expand the programming to adults and community so that we serve more than just the youth that Quality Life Center had served. So I stepped into the role of really expanding my own skill set. So I got certified in meditation, in breath work, in neuroscience. I worked for Mind Up organization with Goldie Hawn Foundation, teaching social emotional learning, regulation, learning about neuroscience, positive psychology. I got certified in that. And for 3 years, I taught principals and trainers around the world, educators, on how to integrate positive psychology, mindfulness,
That's great.
mindfulness into their curriculum.
That's right up your alley, because that was you 25 years ago. I mean, this was like your thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I knew a little. I didn't know you were going that deep with all this, but how that's tied into your new career and
everything is interconnected. Everything is interconnected. As an artist, what we do is we make music that uplifts. We make music that heals. We make music that addresses the social conditions that are plaguing our communities, and we tell a different narrative. We present music that uplifts versus music that kills, has violence, and is divisive. We give positive energy. We talk about love.
You do.
We talk about freedom.
And I look at your
unity.
social media. Yeah, I mean, it's all about that. It's all about the positivity.
Yeah.
Positivity.
Yeah, high vibes, man. People remember how you leave them feeling, oftentimes, especially more than what you say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's what I remember about your family. It's what I remember about your dad. It's what I remember about you. That's why we close like that. We're fam. It's because this feeling, right? And no matter what time passes, when you really have an authentic connection with an individual, that just opens up your heart and it opens up your mind in a different way.
It does, yeah.
So,
yeah. I got to tell you what, man, New Frequency, jam. Great song, by the way. Love it. Big Wes.
Big Wes, man.
I like this guy. Is he a big guy?
Bro.
Big Wes?
Big Wes and I are an anomaly on the stage. It's kind of like Kevin Hart and The Rock, bro.
Yeah.
This guy is 6'7".
He looks big.
And I'm 5'7".
He looks big.
So he's a big boy. He's an ex-NFL football player. He used to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Indianapolis Colts. The guy is awesome and amazing. He's my big bro. He's my big little bro.
Is he? I got to meet this guy.
He does breath work. He has amazing products out called Wes Juice, ashwagandha, green, super greens. He's just an amazing brother, man. He's great, super, super committed. He supports a nonprofit for the kids called Tinkerbell's Kids. And he and I connected actually on philanthropic work, nonprofit work, helping at-risk youth. And so that's how we connected. And, our bond and love for music and for hip hop, and our commitment to the children, and putting out music that uplifts, music that heals, instead of music that is violent, low vibration, negative music.
Yeah.
And so that was what our bond is about, man. And that's my man. And, happy to be his partner. He's our chief brand ambassador for Ready Made Media.
Shout out to Big
awesome.
Wes, man. I got a big spot for Big Wes right here, man.
He would love to be here, bro. You got to get him on the show.
I'd like to meet Big Wes.
His story is amazing. He's got a lot to tell you
It's all about the story. This ain't about real estate, Abdul. This is about the story,
football
man.
player Big Wes has got to be on your show.
Big Wes got a voice. I'm going to tell you that much right now.
Kind of like Busta, right?
He does got
He's like the new Busta Rhymes, bro.
No doubt. That's the first thing I thought of. So we're going to give a little shout out to the audience. Let them listen to this new jam because it's good, man.
Let us know what you think. Who's to blame? They control your fame. Unify my people so we all win. The lyrics, man.
I like this, man. That's good. Good
Unify
lyrics.
my people.
The lyrics
Uplifting.
on Apple.
That's right. Big Wes. Gone.
It's good.
That's right. Come on now. That's right. All the secret animosity. That's right. Come on. Ooh, yeah, y'all. They no need to rush. Been there, yeah, raised up in the hood. Spent all my life misunderstood. Bob in my head just to dodge the lead. Yeah, that's right, that's what I said. Different from the same, who's to blame? Slave last name, they control your fame. Shut up, play ball, this my game. Unify my people so we all win. Yeah,
man.
That's right.
Dude, I got to tell you, man, that's good stuff right there.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
you.
I'm picky, right?
Yeah,
When it comes
you
to this
are.
music, I do know this this. I know this.
You know this.
This is good stuff.
Thank you.
So for the audience, I'm telling you, check this out. Duhawk, man, this is good stuff, for real. So what's it like, though, to create and get somewhere and get the name known? And I mean, it's got to be a process, right?
It's tough.
Your career, though, promoting.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you do, right?
Yeah. It's helpful that I'm a communications guy, a digital marketer. I've had a history of marketing and promotions, and so we're just doing it organically.
I love it.
Anything that's my primary source of business.
Yeah.
And so I'm blessed in that way, where I'm not a starving artist that has to get out there. We're letting things grow organically. We're really focused on uplifting people and being a socialpreneur first, and then letting the music organically hit the ears of the people who it inspires, and hopefully they'll share it and spread it and be connected to that message. We're 8 billion people on the planet, man. We hope that we connect to just a few.
I hope so, man, because this is great. I really love it. Big West, you guys sound great together. You guys have one song together, right?
Yeah, we got one song.
How many tracks do you have right now?
More. Well, Duhawk, myself, I've got probably about 6 or 7 tracks now. We just started releasing a lot
They're
of
all
songs.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you.
I get the first. I get the first shot.
You get the first track. Bro, you get the inside
bro,
scoop. You get to hear it when it's raw, before it's even mixed and mastered.
Things done changed when Biggie was sending songs to his friends. Things done changed.
Things done changed.
What do you guys think about this song? But when you're in the moment, you don't think much of it.
Yeah.
The song you did, right?
Exactly.
It's a song that came out, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day.
Who
knows? If not, you're enjoying what you're doing, man.
Exactly.
And I love it.
Exactly.
Clothing
in the
line.
moment.
Tell me about the clothing line a little bit.
Clothing line, it just happened organically. It's really all about being empowered. And I look out at, what our community is most challenged with is economics and health. And so when you look at people spending money on clothing that is mostly manufactured and created in China, a country that's not our country, and clothing that is actually filled with chemicals and things that produce carcinogens and cancer in our body and blood, but we're spending money on those things for brand names for people who don't care about us. Instead, I look at it as how we can shift that dynamic by taking ownership of the clothes we wear.
Yeah.
And so that was really the impetus of this. So I found one of the people that I was mentoring in our nonprofit, our Q Up program, where we mentor startups and small businesses. And he's a designer. Anthony Leto, he's amazing. His name is Azu. He's been doing fashion for over 8 years. He's talented. And so, we collabed and we created what we call Zuhawk. He's Azu, I'm Duhawk. So we collabed and we came up with this fashion line called Zuhawk.
Yeah.
We're promoting it. It's all about music that uplifts and clothes that really takes ownership of the culture, right? So it's wearable art. We really focus on 2 lines. We have a very exclusive line for fans, and that's our luxury line that we just dropped in Art Basel, Miami, 2024. It was amazing. We did a performance. We did it. We have a blazer, we have pants, and we have our shoes that were done by Jess Marquez, who's another artist that we collab with. And so we're putting out clothing that actually is clothes that is sustainable. So leather, cotton, and hemp, and silks. These are the products that we're looking at, rather than using those carcinogen synthetics and those kinds of clothing. And so we're taking ownership of that. We're producing our own clotheslines for our merchandise, for our artists, and we're encouraging people to start to buy from your own people.
I love that.
Buy from your family. Buy from your community.
Buy from us.
You know what I'm
Locals.
saying? Not these big brands that you can't even pronounce their names. Instead, buy from your people, your boy who you've been hanging with from back in the day. Buy his T-shirt, buy his hoodie, buy his hat. And so we're taking that on, and we're really looking at that as a way to generate economic, close the gap economically for people who actually are creating the culture. And so we do that at readymade.media. Readymade.media is our music, our fashion, our art, and the culture. And the clothing line is just another platform to represent that high vibe experience that we're trying to have.
Love it. We got a couple events coming up soon.
Yeah.
Suit me up.
Suit you up, bro?
Now, I'm picky, though.
We got you.
I'm picky. You don't even want to make clothes for me.
Well, what we do is we would match you with a designer. Yeah. So what we do, part of what we do at Ready Made is we work with people like you who have an affinity for the arts, who are people who are stylish, who like luxury stuff. But instead of going out there and wearing, the John, all these designers, right? I'm not going to give them names right now. Give them on your podcast. But instead, you could actually create a Pavich line that fits your energy. and we match you with a local artist.
All right.
And then you guys develop your clothes much like I did. And then just like I did, you develop your own music for your podcast. You develop your own clothes that you wear. And soon you're your own brand. It's what we do. It's part of our business. It's called personal branding. And if you or anyone is interested in understanding how you can tap into your own passion and then have that passion be reflected as a brand that you own, whether it's a book that you create or an album like me or clothing like I've designed, tap into the creator that's inside of you.
Yeah.
And fully express that.
That's
the message. That's what we do with our clothesline.
That's great.
And we're here to collab
Look
with
good.
people
I saw on one of your videos you had the outfit on, right? I saw that with the jeans.
Hopefully we can work some B-roll in there and show
we'll
the clothing
we'll
line
get some
from
B-roll
Art
in there
Basel.
for sure, man, for sure. But I want to go to the message, but I got to ask a couple more questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
The morning routine.
Yeah.
Tell me really quick about the morning routine.
So my morning routine is all about the first three for me. I get up, and the first thing I do is I go get my coffee. I set that coffee maker up, and I do a mix of coffee, and I mix cacao in it. And I do honey and coconut milk.
Yeah.
That's my morning routine. Then I prepare some water with apple cider vinegar, a little bit of cayenne pepper, some lime, and some sea salt. I do that in the morning. That's the first thing I drink. I do that, and
That'll wake you up more than the coffee, I think.
Yeah, the combination of those two. It also moves your bowels. And while I'm doing that, what I like to do is I either listen to a podcast that's inspirational, opens me up. That's right, Joey Zaza's podcast.
The inspirational podcast.
Inspirational
what can
podcast. And also, right now I'm studying Spanish. So it's been about 2 years now. Estoy aprendiendo mi español.
That's great.
Spanish is one of the fastest growing populations, especially in Lee County in South Florida. And so
I love
I've been
that.
doing a lot of international travel. And so, I've been, yo practico mi español en Duolingo todos los días y hora y media. So, practicing that in the morning, it stimulates your neurotransmitters. It allows you to do things and challenge your brain in ways that open up neural pathways. So I do that, and then after that, I drink my coffee, move my bowels,
work out the brain.
Work out the
bowels, work out the brain.
Get out there in the sun. So while I'm drinking my coffee, I like to get out there and watch the sun rise. It also is a great time to take in that natural sunlight. A lot of times people are afraid of sunlight. You really need to take in that sun. Stimulates the vitamin D. You do it in the morning when the sun is rising. It lets in that red light. A lot of rich people, biohacking, they spend a lot of money on contraptions for red light.
Yeah.
Go out in the morning, catch the sunrise. Your eyelids are your natural protectors. Close your eyes when you first start this. Take in what's called sun gazing. It sets your circadian rhythms. It also stimulates the neural balances or hormone balances in your body. And so it's very important. So get out in the morning as part of that morning routine. Get that coffee with a little mushroom or cacao. Get out there with your feet. Take your shoes off. Have your feet bare. Try to get out there in sand, grass, or earth, or in water right there that grounds you. A lot of times we're on the computers, we're on our phones. Your body is made up of water and a nervous system that's electric, right? Your heart is pumping out these electrodes. You're an electric magnet, and you're stimulating things. So when you ground yourself, that's reducing the toxins and different things that are in your body that actually set you up for having a stabilized day, getting your body into homeostasis. And so when you take in that sun gazing, you ground your feet into the ground early on. You do a little breath work and a little bit of meditation, as you're taking in that coffee and doing that. Again, not eating any food yet. And then after you get into that, about an hour or so goes by, you've meditated, you've taken in a nice podcast, your affirmations, you've done some journaling, etc., whatever that practice is. You get in your red light, you ground, you have some fresh air, then you do some movement. I like to do a little yoga, meditation, and then, of course, some martial arts.
Throw a couple kicks and stuff. Yeah, I know you got to throw a couple.
Stay in shape. Yeah. Them elbow strikes, you know what I'm saying? Like these cats nowadays, they come out with guns, but back then, we silat.
That's
Penjat,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Throw some whips.
Yeah, I love it.
Do a little rolling hands, a little up, down.
That's a good start because I remember growing up with you, man, and seeing your morning routine was a little different than ours. You know what I mean? Back in the day, it was a Coke in the morning. You weren't having Coke at all.
No,
it was a whole thing.
Not drinking none of that
I love to hear about the morning routine. So tell me about the switch at night.
Yeah.
Okay, can you turn the switch off?
Yeah.
Without thoughts going?
Yeah, that's difficult. It's a practice called Yoga Nidra, or one where you practice some, for me, deep breathing. It's where there's essentially 3 categories of breathing types. Coffee breathing, water breathing, and let's call it whiskey breathing. It's breathing that you can do at night. What this breathing does is it shifts your nervous system into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is getting you into rest or digest. It's where you're getting your body to slow down, you're expelling CO2, you're accelerating the nitric oxide stimulation inside your body. It triggers the immune system, and so it settles your body down, and it moves you from your blood flow more into the prefrontal cortex, the front lobe, as opposed to in the amygdala. What that does is it starts to slow things down. And so through breathing, where you're exhaling more than your inhale, very important, exhale more than the inhale, in and out through the nose, it starts to slow the body, calm the body into a state where you start getting into a different frequency. And it's all about theta waves, alpha waves, beta waves, right? So you're able to manipulate your body to get into a state where your brain patterns are putting off RAS, you're stimulating sleep, you're getting melatonin into your body, and these are the things that help with a night routine that will deal with sleep apnea, things like that insomnia, monkey brain, as they like to call it. And it just settles
It's so
down.
important to get to put your head lay at bed at night and just go to sleep.
Worry less and enjoy life more too. A lot of times, people are so worried about things. They're either anxious or depressed, right? Depression is, worried about things that happened in the past. You can't change it. Shit doesn't happen. Right? It's over. Let it go. Right? Poop it out.
Chapter,
or they're anxious about something that's going to happen in the future, right? Like, you don't know that shit's going to happen. How many times do you think something was going to happen? You even put your effort into it, and it didn't end up being that
you almost
way,
want it to happen just because you think it's going to happen, right? Forget about it.
Yeah, just relax. The only moment that matters is the moment right now.
Yeah.
And when you settle down and you really breathe in, let out any of those feelings that take you away from that deep sense of understanding and knowing that the moment right now is your only true power.
Yeah.
And the only thing you really need to worry about. And when you're there, everything's cool. Like, seriously, like when you're there, everything's chill.
Yeah, you're right.
There's no anxiety.
No.
There's the depression and the anxiety starts to fade away as you exhale.
Yeah.
And then you all of a sudden find yourself in a blissful state of peace. Yeah. And then you start to relax.
Yeah. I remember even getting mindset, trying to figure out yourself at a young age, right? You were big on that. You helped me young age.
Is that martial arts, bro? Seriously.
It does.
I give credit to my dad.
Credit, martial
arts, football, sports, discipline, breathing.
Martial arts was great. Spent some time doing that. That was fun. We had a blast. But it all leads into that mindset, really, the drive to be successful in life.
Yeah.
Dad, podcaster.
We were blessed.
Real
We
estate.
had 2 great dads. We have 2 great dads. I mean, your dad, Joe, and it's funny, we're both the second, right? Joe Pavich Jr., Abdul Muhammad the second, right? Like, so juniors, our dads play huge roles. What do you have to say for young men out there who, as we look at, you're a dad, I'm not a dad. I kind of have a lot of God kids and kids that are in Quality Life Center, and also people that I mentor, that are my family, that I look at as my brothers, my sisters, my family. What advice do you have for them, seeing as how tight we are with our dads and the impact they had, and how much we love them and respect them and take that into who we are today as men?
Well, it's all about, like in the Italian old school movies, The Godfather and some of the old movies, they say, blood is thicker than water. Blood, your family, right? It's all about family. And we're family.
Yeah.
But, it's all about taking those things in from your parents, right? Those core values to make you a better person. Yeah. And then when you meet people like us and our friends, right? How many friends do you have that you could actually pick up the phone, no matter if you didn't talk for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and just pick right up and not be mad at you that you didn't call me,
right?
And I'm not mad at you because we're just happy to talk to each other. We could pick off right where we left off. Exactly. It's very hard to find that. Yeah. So I think the final thoughts from today's podcast is, you don't have to talk to each other every day, right? Yeah. It's all about having those friends to help you through life.
That's right.
To be able to help you with stress, struggles, the things that we deal with, because nothing ain't easy. It's not easy.
It's not easy. Well, you know what? Life is simple.
Yeah.
But it ain't easy.
That's right.
It's real simple.
Exactly.
But it ain't easy.
So if you can have those relationships like you and I, where we've been friends for so long, right? Yeah. It's all about ways to help each other through life. struggles, laughs, pick up the phone. Feels good. Feels
Absolutely.
good today to be able to do that with your friends.
It does.
So it's all about being able to unwind and develop those relationships. But if you have those friends, keep those friends.
Yeah.
And if you have a friend, an old friend, this is for the audience, that you haven't spoke to in a long time, pick up the phone and call them. Say hi. Have some laughs. It's hard to do. It's very hard to do. But I'll tell you what, you'll feel better.
Absolutely.
When you feel better, you'll feel better by doing that, for sure, man.
Yeah.
So,
and in this day and age where there's so many things that are outside that are challenging, like you're talking about mental health, you hear all the time, and you look at blue zones and you study the centurions and the people who live the longest. One of the number one reasons why they live the longest is because of community and their family and so on.
That's what it's all about.
You know, as a family that you choose, like we've chosen to be in each other's lives without drama, without stress or shame and guilt, just love, man. And, you know, we get together. It's
nothing but love.
Nothing but love.
I got nothing but love for you.
That's how we roll.
Was that old
got nothing but
I got nothing but love
for you, baby.
Abdul, man. I love you, man. Thank you.
Love you too,
Appreciate
brother.
it.
Yeah, man.
That was good.
31 in the house.
Thanks a lot.
Much love, Joey Zaza.
Hey, listen. Hope you enjoyed the show. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, subscribe, like. These are good messages. You know, the goal about the show is not about real estate, Abdul. People think it's a real estate show. This show, we try to find ways to touch the hearts of everybody that's listening to it. Scenario, the struggles, the grinds, ways to get through. It's all about life, you know. That's what this podcast is all about. Abdul, tell the audience where they can find you.
You can find me everywhere on streaming platforms. Duhak, D-U-H-A-Q. Duhak is my artist name, and the track that we're pushing right now is New Frequency. It's on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, everywhere. Please promote it, support it. Everything we do supports our nonprofit, QualityLifeCenter.org, QualityLifeCenter.org. Check us out. Support the cause. We're looking for volunteers. We're looking for donations always. We're looking for support for our community programs, our adult and community programs. We're trying to raise money for our foundation. So check us out. Support music that uplifts, music that heals. And you can check me out on LinkedIn, on Instagram at Abdul_Muhammad_2, or on LinkedIn/Abdul Muhammad. Much love.
Good stuff. You got to check it out.
Yeah, man.
Thanks again, man.
Thank you,
Love
brother.
you, brother.
Much
Appreciate
love.
it.